What up, y'all? In this video, I want to talk about, is asking women on dates outdated? And I think I've heard, men talk about this, and I've kind of come to think that maybe asking out women on dates directly is kind of outdated. It doesn't necessarily work in our society anymore. Like, sadly, I think at least in Western society.
Next stop.
And then I'm going to talk about the alternative to what I believe we can do instead of asking women on dates, right? So, back in the day, at least as far as I understand, early 2000s and prior, as far as I know, men would ask a woman directly. They would use the word date, as far as I know. They would say, hey, I would like to take you out on a date. It was very direct. It was very meta, I think, what I would call it, like something that refers to a self. They call the date a date, and they don't have a problem with that, right? Or at least, they could use terms that were very associated in context with a date. So they could say things like, let's grab coffee, or let's grab a drink, or let me take you out to dinner, right? They'd use terms that were very associated with dating. Because if you tell a woman, let me take you out, that connotation, take you out, is related to dating, right? And I think that at that time, women were okay with that. But in my personal experience, it almost seems like women are triggered by anything that is associated with dating when you ask them out on a date, even though it doesn't make sense, because dating is part of human nature, right? But for some reason, modern women seem to not be okay with that, right? They seem to not be okay with knowing that it is a date and the fact that you're asking them on a date. And I think there's different reasons for that. I think for one,
Next stop.
I think that the modern society is very conflict averse. It means they don't like conflict, right? So the idea of going on a date and knowing that, they're kind of I don't want to say judging each other, but feeling each other out, that's too much conflict for them. It's too much. Like, it feels like there's too much on the line, like they're going out and scrutinizing each other. And for the modern person, it's just too heavy. It's too much conflict, and it scares them away, right? I think another reason has to do with the Me Too movement, and all these talk about stalkers and stuff like that. A woman doesn't want to know that she's going out on a date because she's afraid that if she turns him down, he's gonna come murder her or something like that, and then there's another reason why I believe women don't like when men ask them out on a date, and that's because modern women, they have so much going for them that if you ask them out, they think that they're better than you. So it's like a power game. Like, I believe women in the past did not see it as a power trip. It wasn't like, oh, you're asking me out, oh, I'm better than you because you asked me out. Even though there's no other really way historically to go out with a woman other than ask them out, right? But I think, the women in the past did not see it as a power trip. It wasn't begging. But I think modern women see asking out a man as begging, because modern women are used to having all the leverage. Like, they have looks, and if they have looks, it goes a hell of a lot farther than a man who has looks, because men are so visual. So they can post on social media and get so much attention. They can, make a dating app and get so much attention, and they're getting an education, and they're getting an income, So when they look at you, they feel like they're the chooser, right? Even though they're not going to do anything to come after you, they're not going to ask you out, so it don't even make sense, right? So it's like, if you sit around, you're damned, and don't ask them out, you're damned. But if you ask them out, you're damned. It's like you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't, right? Because they're not going to come ask us out. Obviously, you know, none of us want to come into contact with these power game ego girls. None of us truly want to come into contact with them, but you know, the fear is that maybe it's bled into a lot of women, you know, possibly even the good ones or whatever. So I think the alternative is essentially to play the long game and just wait until you guys can just go out without actually planning the date, you know? Just wait until you like literally just play the long game, get to know them for weeks or even months, and just wait until you guys somehow come together. Like maybe you're like, hey, gotta run some errands tomorrow, do you want to join me? Like just nonchalant, right? Because with the modern women, you can't make them feel that it's a date. I don't think that the modern women, like I'm saying, they don't respond well to let me take you out. You gotta like hang out with them in a way that doesn't make them suspicious, because to modern women, asking them out on a date is suspicious. I think that's how they see it. It's literally like, what's going on here? So you almost gotta wait until there's like some casual moment that just comes together where they're like, oh, I like that coffee shop, and you're like, what? I've been trying to try that coffee shop, let's go, you know, like let's go tomorrow. And then that's when you play it like it's a date when you show up, right? You know, that's when you get to know her. Like I feel like that's how it is these days. Like for modern women, you can't make too many moves at once. I think with women in the past, you could like, they could be on another side of the city or whatever, and you guys got no plans together and you're not crossing paths at all, and you can just ask them out. It don't matter what it is. Like you can be intentional. You could be intentional and, you know, ask them to meet with you on the spot, like at a certain dinner place, and there was no other reason for them to be there other than meeting you. But modern women, no, I don't think so. So it's better almost to long game it until it's better to long game it until there's some almost not random but semi kind of random event where you guys just either cross paths, you end up walking to the bus stop together, and then you say, hey, let's get some ice cream, or, you know, hey, I need this, or hey, I have an extra ticket to this baseball game or whatever, you know, do you want to go? You know, like something like that where it's like low pressure, because modern society is all about low pressure. Like I feel like that's the thing, is that women aren't in their feminine. They don't wanna be led. So it's like almost like you have to wait until you just cross paths, right? It's weird. It's really odd. It's like I'm fully convinced that most men don't have a girlfriend, not because of their value, not because of what they have to offer, but because of the resistance that women have to first dates. That's literally the biggest reason. Women have a resistance to first dates. I call it first date resistance. That's what it is. Like they will put off a first date until the end of time, even though you could be their potential husband. Like I'm convinced of that. First date resistance is the reason why not as many people are dating these days or married. It's all about, it's that first date resistance from women. So, you know, the other thing you can do is maybe just invite them. And a lot of the times you have to be currently in conversation with them. You can't message them out of the blue and be like, hey, I mean, you can try, but I've found that it doesn't really work with modern women. You can't message them out of the blue and say, hey, I'm doing this, you trying to go? Or can you come with me? Usually, nope. It's too much for them. For them, they have to be in conversation so they feel like it's natural. So once you're already texting them, you're already talking to them, then you make the plan in conversation. Modern women have become so tough. It's like we're jumping through hoops and it's crazy. You know what I'm saying? And it's almost like, is the reward even worth it? But I don't know. I don't get it. My parents literally just met playing pool in a bar, and my dad, I believe, took my mom's number. He just called her when they got home or whatever, and the next day, and then they just went out. It didn't have to be some kind of haphazardous thing. Oh, we're just kind of running into each other, you know. It wasn't like that. You could take somebody who was in another environment, had a different friend group, and you could pull them into, you know, from their environment into your life. Like, that's how it was. Yeah, but I don't think modern women are like that. So sometimes you have to almost act like the whole day's joy is about what you're doing, and then you're inviting them along as an accessory, right? Because so they don't have to bear any pressure, like such as saying, hey, I'm going to this place, you know, the ice creams, or not the ice cream, it could be the ice cream, but you could be like, hey, I'm going to this dinner spot, the food is so good, and I'm gonna go by myself anyways because the food is that enjoyable, and I love days by myself, but if you also want to come, then that would be great. It's almost like you gotta make it to where they don't matter so that the pressure is taken off. It's really effing weird. It's like modern women you can't even make them feel important, or they'll feel pressure. So you have to make them feel like they're not important, but you're inviting them along with you, which is just bizarre. But I wish it wasn't like this. I would go back to 1920s America, or United States, or go back to freaking Ukraine in the 1950s or something like that, rather than deal with this problem. But yeah, it's weird out there, boys. It's really weird. And as far as, you know, not validating women too much,
Next stop.
best to just you know, not over compliment and don't show too much eagerness. Just be stoic and act centered in your own life. Act like you care about your own self, you know. Like, one technique you could do is to like ask the woman out, but like put restrictions on the date, on asking her out, I guess, if that makes sense. Like, you say like, hey, if you want to get like, you know, pizza tomorrow or whatever, which is kind of asking her out, but one thing you can do is be like,
Next stop.
after that you add a caveat, but I can't be out late, or I can't be there at this time, I got a lot of chores that I got to get done. So you're actually putting a restriction on her on the times so that you don't look desperate. You're basically saying, well, if you can go at specific times, I can't go at those times. Then you look like you value your own self. You say you got a bunch of chores at home or something. She feels like you value your own self, and then she doesn't think that you're better than her. And to be honest with you, when I make this video, I don't even necessarily want us to go on dates with these girls. That's the irony. I'm making this video so that you don't get emasculated and feel stupid in the dating process. I don't want you to end up in a relationship with these type of women. because the only way, I mean, if the woman is just scared, you know, and can't handle pressure that much, that's not that bad. But if she's arrogant, if that's her problem, I don't want you having to date her. I just don't want you getting emasculated by women, right? I just don't want you feeling stupid after the woman's texting you, showing so much excitement, and then you ask her out and all of a sudden she just ghosts you, like it's really common. I don't want you feeling stupid after that. That's why I'm making this, so that you can continue to feel masculine and continue to feel like you're keeping your value within yourself. So that, you know, if you do, so that doesn't happen, you know, so that it's better that you just casually ask her to run some errands with you, or walk to the coffee shop on your break at work while you're already walking down the street, so that if she says no, she doesn't get the better of you, because you're already going to run those errands. There's nothing that she can